This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome, everyone. Jared's on his way. His wife's car broke down. Drew is sick, so hopefully he's getting better and will be back with us. Bear with us a little bit. But it looks like all the council's present, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I don't see citizens' comments. Any of you gentlemen out there have any comments? Nope. So we'll move right on. I apologize to you all the last meeting. I didn't realize it until after the meeting was over and I turned on the main street from Lincoln Avenue. We have to revisit the Boonesboro Ambulance and Rescue Company. I voted to break the tie, and I really shouldn't because I have a conflict of interest. I serve on their board of directors. So therefore, my vote has to be stricken. So we're going to open the floor back up for discussion tonight. That's why Greg's here. If you got any questions, Greg can answer them. Whether you want to go ahead and fully do it, or whether or not you want to give them to split it. Greg, you got any comments you'd like to make?
Yes, sir. I think still the same as it was last time.
Well, the only thing that I would throw out there is after I thought about it a little more, and when I knew you had to strike the vote, I kind of like what Greg started to comment on there at the last meeting about, I'd be willing to change my vote, but I think we should say, we'll do it this time, but next time, let's have a little more discussion, kind of thing. If they need more upgrade for what they're providing for the carnival, that's one thing, but if we're just providing electric so they can all live in the campers, I think that's another whole thing.
Well, it's kind of hard, my only problem is telling them they have to pay for this, it's kind of like a fixed fixture at the park, you know what I mean? It's not
Yeah,
something they can take with them and have ownership.
Yeah, they
of,
won't own it,
you know what I
they're
mean?
just-
So. it's hard to
Jim, you
make
remember who
somebody
made
else-
the motion?
I do.
I think I heard.
So it was a motion by Mary Lee, second by Tony, to approve upgrading the electric breaker between Pavilion 1 and 2 in Schaefer Park from 100 amps to 200 amps at the cost of $3,496 to be taken from park ground maintenance, and that this is the only upgrade that the town will do for this location.
So you two, you made the motion and you made the second. Do you want to still leave your motion and second as is?
Well, you would have to rescind
Have to-
the previous
I'd
one.
like to have a motion to rescind the last vote, and then that will go on to open up for discussion. If there's no discussion and somebody wants to make a motion one way or the other, we'll do that. So Mary Lee, you make a motion.
I will make a motion to rescind my motion from the January meeting.
Tony,
I would
As read.
second her rescinding of the motion from our January meeting.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, abstained, the motion carries. Now, is there any discussion, or does anybody want to make a motion in one way or the other on what to do? And I'm not allowed to vote.
Well, I was gonna make my same motion again.
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor for the town to put the bill. Do I have a second?
And just the way Kim read it, this is the last upgrade that the town is gonna do,
And
and,
the cause.
and, exactly. So I will second Mary Lee's motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion, questions, or concerns? Hearing none. Go ahead. Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No. Okay,
So
so
it
we
looks
have
like
Terry and Ricky.
3, 4, 4 to 2. 4 to 2 in favor. This is vote. Am I correct? You voted no, Terry voted no, you voted yes, and you voted yes. You voted yes. 4 to 2 in the vote. Okay, that was easy enough. Okay, we discussed last time that we had a scheduling conflict with the town election. And I'd like to appoint Jeff Davison as an alternate to our election board. That way we would have 3 people that could do the vote, because Denny Hawkins will not be available that day. And Brian has got a hold of Jackie, I forgot Jackie's Buzzard. Jackie Buzzard, and she will be available that day. So we're, with Jeff there as an alternate, we will have a full election board. So do I have a motion to appoint Jeff? And this will be for a 4-year term as an alternate to our election board.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to place Jeff Davison as an alternate for the next 4 years for our election board. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Abstain. Motion carries.
I did have a question, Howard. Is there another alternate that's needed on that board?
Probably wouldn't hurt to have one. It's not necessarily, but it wouldn't be a good idea, because you never know when somebody's gonna get sick.
Okay, because I did reach out to another individual. His name is John Michael. He lives on Winter Drive in Boonesboro. He's been a resident here for 30 years at least. And he agreed to do that as well. So if you want another appointee on that board, you're.
But it wouldn't hurt to have an extra alternate, because like you said, you never know where some way COVID's coming back, the flu bug's going around. You never know when somebody's gonna say, I can't do it today, I'm sick. This way we have a backup. So, yeah, yes,
I
sir.
agree, yeah, that's, I mean, less, as long as like they're in like a seniority, right, like that
Mhm.
you're
Yeah.
the top person and the third the next person.
Yep. So, yeah, I like to appoint John Michaels for a 4-year term as another alternate to our election board. That way that gives us 3 full-time members and 2 alternates. So that's good.
Okay, I'll make the motion to appoint John Michael to a 4-year term.
I'll second.
As an alternate.
That's an alternate.
Correct. Do we have a motion and a second? Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, the same. Same. Motion carries. Snow plowing and shoveling citations. We've had some people that, well, they got lucky, got up to 75 degrees, so their sidewalks and all melted. But some people that didn't abide by our ordinance, it would be nice if we could certify Greg, but according to our charter, we can't. But what would be nice is if we could get Greg, as him and his guys are around, see something, take a picture of it, turn it into Drew, so we can get the letter out, or Drew can give, I like to recommend that Drew give the, if he can't get out, give it to Greg and let Greg deliver the citation personally to the residents.
Well, can any of us send a picture to Drew though?
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Anybody can send.
Are you gonna give people a warning the first time and then?
Well, they have 24 hours.
Well, I know, but I will say some people, if they just moved here, they might not, you know, because it might come from somewhere where someone else did it, or, I mean, I don't know, I'm just one that, like, and if they never got cited before and they've been doing it, then all of a sudden, I don't know, I'm always one that likes to say, hey, this needs cleaned up, and then you're gonna get.
I know you're one like
I
that.
know,
But they get
I
a
do.
warning in their bill. That's their warning.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you. The ordinance is like 25 cents a foot, no less than 25 cents a foot. So you don't need to think about like changing a little bit.
Yeah.
I think Drew's gonna-
Yeah, the language is gonna be updated too, so that's in the works.
But they definitely need to be notified, you know. That I would give a warning the first time and fine.
Greg's pretty busy though, I mean, he didn't have time to even put a battery in the clock, so I don't know how you brought it.
Right. You're gonna be getting his neighbor's snow off the road.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I kind of feel like that should be Drew's kind of.
I don't
Thing
really
to
want to put
watch
these guys in that
after- yeah.
position.
No, I don't need it. I don't think it's
They're like,
I mean, I guess
they're
if
like
he's
fire.
not here because of snow, because he doesn't live in town, that's something different.
So what Drew explained was when they did it over in Middletown, what they would do is like, I think, did he explain this to you too, Jared? They would wait like 24 hours until the allotted time, and then actually drive the entire town and write down everyone who
So
did it.
who did that? Who drove?
He said he did.
Okay.
Okay.
Is he gonna, what if he's
So-
gonna come across here and do it?
Which means Jerry would do it. Drew was the town manager, so I mean, it's Jared's job.
So Jared, sled ride here.
You think you can drive that luxury mobile out?
I was just saying, if you're saying that it hurts your tough to get here from, outside Hagerstown and, Tawnytown, then someone who owns the property or that might be vacant is gonna have more enough time to get here to shovel to the sun.
I'll take pictures.
Okay. That's good. Sounds good.
So Drew's gonna be our.
He's all dead.
Yes.
Yeah, he'll sign it. Similar to the regular. He'll sign it.
Put that in his.
Give him a shovel.
Okay, moving right along.
So what did we decide here? Just move this all
Giving
around?
Drew a town shovel.
Drew.
I do stop and talk to the residents when they're blowing it out the street, but I have never said not one word to them about sidewalk, because the street pisses me off more than the sidewalk does.
Mhm.
Because after you bring the street, they'll blow it out the street, we'll come back in, it'll be completely iced out
All right.
for the next night, but I do stop and talk to them.
Okay.
So anytime we see that, we can just send it to Drew.
Send it to Drew, yep. Okay, resolution 2024-01, amend fees for connection to water and wastewater system. At a February council meeting at 6:45, we'll have a public hearing. We will advertise this resolution. We can introduce it, and since it's a resolution that night, and vote on it. But since it's affecting the tapping fees, water and sewer fees and charges, we do have to have a public hearing. So I really don't look for that much opposition, if any, to show up. So mark your calendars for February the 12th. We will meet at 6:45 for that public hearing.
Perfect. Well, we're not changing the amount, right? We're just kind of rephrasing.
Yeah, the word is, it's just being combined into one.
Okay, but we're not proposing it.
Right. But we still have to have.
I understand. I'm just trying to make sure I understood. I don't make sure.
Eliminating a lot.
Yep. And also, your calendars, we do not know yet, but there's a possibility we may have a public hearing at 6:15 with their town attorney.
Same night?
No, public hearing, executive session. Sorry, thanks. Wait. Executive session.
Damn, I'm
That would
really
be at
wishing I was
6:15. But that's subject to change until she gets back to us for sure.
Okay, so that's on 12th as well.
Yes, yes.
15.
But give you a heads up, that way you can pencil it in on your calendar and make sure. And then it's easier to tell you to take it off and call you and say, hey, we got a executive session at 6:15. This way you're aware of it a couple weeks early.
So if we do have that executive session, can we get something a couple days ahead of time so we know what the subject is?
Yes, sir. Okay, we will. Once she gets it to us, we can get it to you. Okay. Moving right along, this is great. Proposed amendments for subdivision process, since Drew's not here, I'd like to table that until our mayor and council meeting on the 12th, because that's his baby.
Need a motion for that or?
No. Request for proposed for bids, Schaefer Park Community Gardens, perimeter fence.
No, Greg, I mean, Greg, look at it, I believe it, right?
I did.
Yeah, so, I believe they were pretty close in costs from what I remember.
They have the one T bit in there, but that's residential. You don't want that stuff commercial, you got kids yanking on it. You at least want to go with that wall fence for $18,600.
And that's the one that we.
That's the one they picked too.
So I don't think, none of us in all had any issues with that.
No.
Do I have a motion? Long fence, $18,600.
I was looking at, yeah. The other thing that they like about long fence is their proposed timeline. It's a little better with the garden opening than it. Yeah, they have
This is a grant.
Yeah,
And we have the grant cover the whole cost. And Greg's okay with having to like weed whack around all that fence?
Yeah. I just don't want to point away tomato weeds.
You won't have to leave, right? Your prisoners should do that.
You want a motion?
Yes, please.
I'll make a motion that community garden fence comes from Long Fence.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to go with long fence at $18,600 for the round the garden perimeter fence. Any other discussion, questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Same. Motion carries. Thank you. Consideration to renewal or request for proposal for accounting service. This is an option to extend 2 additional terms. Kim, you got anything you want to add to that or?
Yeah, so Clifton, Larson and Allen is the company that we're with for the accounting. Their contract ends June 30th. Like Howard said, we did the 1-year contract with them with the option to extend 2 additional contracts. And pretty pleased with them. They really go over everything really closely, really precise. So we're asking to renew that instead of putting it out
So
for,
we would be renewing it just for 1 additional year and then we'll
yes.
talk about it.
Yes. And no rate change or?
No, still $200 an hour is what they charge.
Was there a cap on what we were doing a month or?
I'm sorry?
Was there a cap on how much we were spending a month or I thought it was more like a monthly fee or I guess they just guessed how much it would be about.
We only use them, it's only like maybe 3 to 4 hours
Yeah.
a month.
Okay.
So it's, I mean, and that's maximum.
Okay.
It's usually like most of the bills I see are like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Okay.
So it's not.
So we'll make a motion to renew the accounting firm's contract for 1 additional year at the same cost.
Second.
Second.
Here we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Same. Motion carries. Consideration to renew or request for proposal for legal service. This is option to 1 additional term.
So same with this contract also. Their contract expires March 31st. And the original contract, like Howard said, was for 1 year with the option to extend 1 additional term. And same price. It would be for assignments 1,000 total billable hours. Under 1,000 total billable hours would be $250 per hour. And assignments exceeding 1,000 total billable hours is $200, excluding litigation. And paralegal costs are $75 and $65, respectively.
So did Ann get hired on by that firm or are we using Ann and not the one that's on the door?
I think
Or is she like going in and we can have her on it?
it's the firm,
It's the firm.
but Ann is the only one we work with.
Right.
You know, they sign. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think she was with their firm initially. Like, I thought she was like helping because they lost.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
She's done a
Maybe I'm
great
wrong
job.
about that. Okay.
She's doing a very good job. She's very responsive.
All right. Yeah, I know. I know you guys were all pleased with her. I just wasn't sure because I thought she was
She's
like,
responsible during the.
we lost the other.
She works for them. All of the billing comes from Salvatore.
Okay,
So
okay. That's
She's,
fair. I guess it just, you know, if she doesn't
That firm,
leave or
I'm not
something.
100% sure.
Yeah.
she's contract.
Bills come from work still.
Yeah, okay. I'm just, you know what I mean, I just worry, I'm just fixing it for a year in case she doesn't.
Yeah, I was wondering that too, because I heard, advertisement on the radio a few weeks ago for Rott's Law Firm.
Yeah, that's what I said, I thought she tried to have her own,
Yeah, she does have her own too.
but I don't know if she's subbing under them or something or not, that's what I knew she filled in with the Jennifer.
But I was impressed with her when we, was dealing with the school board. She stands her ground. She's good, she stands her ground very well.
So the only thing that I'd like to put out there is, we have been waiting and waiting on an opinion of that continual associates agreement. And Drew has a meeting with the family and the representatives to talk about that. It would be nice if we could get an opinion before that meeting. We've been waiting for, what, at least 6 months.
At least, yeah.
And so, I raised all of the comments about the other things we worked on, but I'd really like to get an opinion on
I have to get it.
Let me reach out to her tomorrow.
Okay, then?
Yes.
So do you want a motion
Please,
to
yes.
extend renew the contract for the additional year option with Scott Morton?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's my motion, I guess.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll say.
We have a motion and a second to extend the legal service with Morton Associates at additional 1 year. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Abstained, motion carried. Anything else, people, before we go into updates?
I'll have 2 little things. You
Okay.
always have something.
Okay, sir?
So one day I was up talking to Drew, and he just mentioned to me off the cuff that he had been talking to WRA about the reservoir, and he indicated the price is going up possibly $1 million or more. So I didn't know if there was one to fill us in a little more on that. That's always a good. Was there more to that story? Other than the price is going up.
I was gonna mention that during my.
Oh, sorry.
Right now, what's on everybody's mind. So yeah, we did get, finally, we've been requesting a cost estimate, an updated cost estimate from WRA for quite a while. And we finally got one, and it is what we expected, which was an increase. The amount of increase I was a little surprised about. So they didn't give us a direct cost estimate per se, they gave us a high cost estimate, depending on quite a few factors. But the middle of the road cost estimate is a little over $9 million.
Oh my gosh.
So, we went, I think, from 5 in the beginning, around 6.5 to, I estimated 8, and it turned out to be 9. So obviously that's not a great start to the good news we had just a week or so ago that we're in the governor's new proposed budget for $1.5 million. So, we're still pursuing state and competitive funding as best we can right now. I meet with ARC tomorrow, or Wednesday, about competitive grant funding through them. We're still discussing with our elected officials, trying to get a little additional funding straight from the governor's budget. We got Senator Trone's invitation to apply for some federal grant funding recently, which we will also do. I'm going to start working on that this week. And I should, in the next regular council meeting in February, have something a little more official as to how we're going to proceed with the line. I should also have some additional information on our possible MED loan grant that we are working on that application right now as well. So I'm working on every single angle that you could possibly think of to raise some additional funding, mostly hopefully from grants and state and federal funding directly. But then we still have to have some gap financing or long-term loans to most of the MED. I met with the EPA the other day about something not related necessarily directly to the reservoir And they actually gave me another possible source of some low grant, low interest, low grant that we could use for that as well. So I'm gonna look into that. We do also have an EPA grant for the reservoir for $1 million. So that's added towards that now. So, good news in the fact that we know we're at least in the governor's budget and we're being talked, Howard can tell you, we're being talked about a lot in Annapolis right now.
They know who we are.
Yeah.
Jerry, I was down there, this past, Tuesday and, talking to Molly Barron, who's with Governmental Affairs in the governor's office. She was instrumental in helping us get that 1.5 million. And they're aware of that we need more. And they are aware of the cost of the reservoir that's gone up too. We made it perfectly clear Tuesday that they all down there found that out. And talked to a lot of different delegates that don't even pertain to us, but they have to vote. Delegates that I got to know from on the Eastern Shore from MML. Please, when the bill comes up for Greensburg, he said yes. Been assured by all of them that they're looking out for us and try to get us more money. So that's all we can do is keep trying and keep pushing. So
is there no way we can sign something to lock in a price? I mean, we got to do it.
No, because
Because the cost of materials.
contractors don't know how much, because they have to buy materials, so it's just their costs go up, our costs go up.
And that's just an estimate. They could come in lower than that to Terry. We just don't know. They just got a plan for the long run based on how much materials are going up now. So that's why it's important that we start digging this spring. And if we got to borrow the money and then pay it off. When we get money from the state and the federal government, we got to get started to keep those prices from going up higher yet. So anybody in any business knows that stuff is not going down.
Well, but, I mean, I work for a business and the price we give them is what we keep it at once that contract is signed. That's why I'm asking.
Well, we haven't signed any contract yet.
So why can't we? What my question
We have to
is.
publicly bid.
We have to put it out for bids.
We can't publicly
sign
bid
it.
until the plans are done and MD approves them.
And once MD approves these plans, we can put it out for bid and then hopefully it comes in less than what they're estimating for bid.
Do we have any
Here
idea?
at government, we gotta abide by it. We're-
So, yeah, I mean, they're pretty much are the only thing that we're still working on. Controls of the children and concept, security. Systems. I think those are the last two things.
Well, I still word to have it there about when WRA is finished, then we need to stay on. So we can put out contract. And then number two, was I saw an email from LD last week with the question about the budget process. And I thought maybe we could discuss it here tonight a little bit if we need to, but then in the meantime, I didn't catch you today. Howard asked me if I could get with them, we need to work on the budget in whatever fashion.
So it's either assistant treasurer.
So,
I'll give you a quick rundown if you.
well, just, we don't have to take the time, but just, we'll have to get together, let all the stakeholders know what the commissions are, gonna have to request and.
One thing about it, he's got the word out to all the commissions. Some of them are starting to get their.
We had our first meeting, Tony, myself, and Brian had our first meeting last week, I believe it was. It was a good meeting. I think we're all on the same page about how to proceed. We all had a little bit of a job to do as far as getting some of the paperwork together. So we have started that process. That is one of the first things we're doing is getting department heads and commissions to give us their.
Well, that's cool. Just keep them in the loop, so they kind of ask if you like.
Well, Garrett, did you send it out to the commission?
So I've discussed it with most of them at this point, yeah.
Okay, I was just gonna say, the safety commission is absent a chairperson, so.
Well, since I've gotten yours, we put that in the file already and we're gonna.
Oh, I can-
There's-
Yeah, that was just the sample of what I did last year.
That's fine, that's an okay start.
Okay,
We'll
what I
fix
was
it.
asking for was I wanted to be able to take to the February meeting where we stand as far as what we spent out of this year's So we know if we need to add something or make
Well,
something.
that'll be one of the things we discuss when we meet with the commissions
Okay.
individually. What your year to date is and where you're
Okay,
at.
well, Ina, the assistant vice chair, is, I assume, going to play the role of interim chair, but she was sick the last meeting, so I kind of had to.
See, I've kind of given Jared a deadline of May. We
Okay,
like to approve it May meeting since it's election year. You don't want to approve a budget, have new council if we get new members on.
Well, because that would actually be the swearing in ceremony
Yes,
night.
that'll be the school swearing in.
In
ceremony.
June.
So May, I gave him a full deadline of May.
so I was just asking, you don't need to give the commission time to.
Can you also see like the liaisons? Can you see that we get the numbers too and they get theirs?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
I think finally, I'm sorry, Tony, with respect to the VMUC problem, next thing they need to discuss is are we going to raise the rates again and go tier 2 of plan?
Election years are a good time to do that.
Well,
We're gonna get that pot stirred
I
up.
know that's probably an unpopular discussion, but do we want to, be responsible with the budget?
Well, and that's ultimately the big question. Do we present a fiscally responsible budget? Or do we just continue kicking this can down the road and end up in a position where we have a $9 million reservoir and no way to fund it?
No.
I'm not saying increasing the rate's gonna magically solve all the problems, but it's a step in a direction towards financial solvency. So it's an uncomfortable reality that everybody has to face, but it is, every citizen in this town is faced with the same effects from this recession, whatever we're calling this, the inflation. So,
We're almost definitely gonna have to get some sort of, whether it be a short term or a low interest, longer term, through it like an MDE, but it's most likely gonna happen
Right.
on one scale or another. So, even if it's on a small scale of an additional revenue coming in, that we can use for our water and sewer.
Right.
Revenue is gonna help. So that's-
Well, I'm not some big fan of just raising the rates to raise them, but we can't just have raised them in 1 year and think, oh, we're done for another 10 years. Right. Don't work that way. I'm sorry, Tony.
No, you're good, you're good. I was just going to add to the budget process that we did meet with Farmers Market. Terry joined us. Terry, Jared, Kathy, and the market manager, Jen.
Brian.
No, I was at the EPA meeting.
Oh, that's right.
Brian.
And Brian and myself, because there was such a great amount of confusion with their budget. I'm Kim.
I was invisible that day,
She was right up on the information.
She was.
So, but I think the biggest part of their confusion was the calendar year and the budget year. And they,
well, and their farmer's market season.
well, right,
you
they're
know,
on the calendar
yeah.
year, right, and the budget year is not. So I think Jen understands it a lot better, and they're gonna come to the table with a budget year budget. They know that they're done for the rest of this year. There's nothing, they're gonna be able to do. And Kim, you actually had a really good recommendation for them, was that they like to collect all their rent, so to speak, from their vendors for the year. And Kim said, why don't you just collect for the first 2 months? Because that'll end our budget year, and then collect for the rest of the year, which I think the market vendors anyway, because they don't have to put out all that cash at one time. So anyway, I think it was a good conversation. I think we're gonna have a better working experience with the market this year. So.
I guess I do have one thing to say. The public safety committee did lose their chair, so we will definitely have a vacancy there. And I did talk to Rick Stevens, who hasn't been able to participate, and he would like to still help with National Night Out. He would be interested in doing it again in the future, but right now we're taking care of his dad. He hasn't been able to make the meetings, so we should advertise that vacancy.
Well,
Poor chief,
Why don't we
he's
do
seen so
it
many
later?
come and go. Well, too many of us come
I
to go.
know, I don't know what to do, because I do know that was one of the things on the commission's list, was making sure we had police department present at the meeting.
For what? This is the thing.
I know,
That,
so,
that commission has no say, no power, no nothing. It is a total waste of time. Total waste. I mean, you're all spending money for that, it's a waste, it is a total waste.
How do you
The
really?
lady, yeah, the lady that's started it back up again, now she's already given it up, and it hasn't even been a year. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the one who.
I think we can all just pitch in and take care of National Night Out, and that's their main focus. That's the
It
main.
would just be the National Night Out. And that's what they talked about at one time. They just, they start like in the
Right.
early part of summer, get a group together, and then for the National Night Out. This is what we're doing now, I mean, it's just, I don't know the benefit of it. There is no benefit to it.
But I will say at the last meeting, there was only me.
There's never a citizen comes in, very few, and the ones that come into that meeting ends up here at the mayor and council meeting.
Or they call you on the phone directly.
Or they, yeah, exactly, or they call me over there directly.
If you wait for public safety to meet up, you're issued.
And that's another thing, how many times has it been canceled because not enough people are going to be showing up? Honestly, I mean, I hate to schedule it for my schedule, just to find out that they're not gonna have it. I put it in my schedule, hey, I got this meeting on such and such a date, and then 3 days, 4 days ahead of time, oh, we're not gonna have enough for this person sick, or this one can't make it. So that just, again, I don't know the benefit. If it'd be a benefit, fine, but there is none. None.
And it's because there isn't much due, the people don't have much interest in it. And that was the problem when I was there, is that, not only the chairperson person said that he was frustrated because he didn't know what, they had nothing to do. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, there's no game plan. And you said to it, you said to it, and I'm saying sometimes, like,
I know that they have good intentions, but yeah, I do understand, like, they want sidewalks repaired, but really isn't their, that's not
public
their
safety.
jurisdiction, and that, they never did, and they want input in this new building, but again, I try to tell them, you get too many people involved in input, for the safety thing, like, for the ambulance,
Oh, the.
fire,
Fires.
safety thing, you know what I mean? It's like, sometimes there's, they were upset that they weren't invited to a meeting or something, like, first off, there's just like a whole, like, thinking about,
You can
and
tell
then
that
one
we
gets-
have the same problem with fire and the ambulance trumpet.
yeah.
Trying to get them to come to a meeting too, sit down and work out what their needs are.
And like I said, Ina wasn't even there, cause she let me know right before the meeting that she wasn't feeling well. So I don't even know, nobody that was there stepped up to become the chair. And, I'm assuming
Who
Ina's
was
gonna be
who
the
was
chair.
taking the notes?
That would be me, I
Yeah,
ran the
see,
meeting.
you're
and
supposed to be the
took the
secretary.
minutes. Yeah, I've been the secretary.
And I found myself in that same situation, so I don't think we did fine without one. I appreciate people wanting to get involved and do it, but it's something that we can do without it. And put them on other
Can we maybe put it on the agenda for February to
discuss.
maybe make some kind of motion to maybe
But it went way
table it
back.
for a while?
I can remember when Jeff Hewitt was here and it got started. And I was his liaison back then, and we had trouble back then finding people to show up for the meeting. Many a times, one night, I'll never forget, it was Jeff and me. Nobody else.
Yeah.
You want to change the schedule?
I think we give- make it something again to discuss Thursday commission / National Night Out Commission, if we want to make transition to it.
It will put
I
that
don't
on
see
the
having
agenda.
a commission just to do one.
Well,
I feel like that
we're
makes
gonna
it
call it.
sort of some, like-
Well, not to
Committee,
me,
National Night Out event.
National Night, we can do, Town can do that herself and ask for volunteers. Anybody wants to help out, they're more than welcome to come and they can help down there at the park too.
It's a lot of work there.
It is a lot of work.
It's-
It is, it is, yeah. But town used to do it years ago when the commission that did it, town did it. When you first started, we were doing it. And we, again, like I said, Jeff wanted this commission, we got it started and it was just him and I.
Do we even need to do National Night Out? I know everybody does it, but we
Oh,
feed,
yeah, we
Yeah,
can do
it
that.
draws.
I know, we feed half of West Virginia.
It would be nice.
I'm just
It would
saying.
be nice. Neighboring communities.
Every time I hear stuff.
We did that one year. We did get donations from Keysville. Keysville gave us a
I
donation.
think that would be a good idea. I mean, we do feed South County. as well as Williamsport. Williamsport learned, so this is a better one than what we have.
Okay, we'll put that on the agenda for next month, under discussion.
So Greg will contact you. to move ahead with the-
Yes, you let Chick know, go ahead and do the part. Okay, please, chief.
That's the only thing I was gonna bring up about that. It's about, it's done.
Everything okay? Yep. Good. And Drew's not here. Jared?
Well, a few things I was gonna talk about, we've already talked about. Just to reiterate, we started the budget process. We'll continue to have a few meetings to discuss how, basically our process of how we're gonna do things, and I'll get you all of that for our next one. But I think we're off to a good start as far as our process is concerned. We discussed the reservoir a little bit. We're still in money raising mode. So we're gonna continue to do that until we figure it out, but my plan is to still have everything prepared to be able to bid this spring. Still the plan. I have to go over to Washington County, to the government building and give a quick overview of our program open space application. Greg, I emailed you, if you have some time to talk tomorrow, to give me I want to go over a few more specifics about that playground project that we talked about. So we applied to program open space to replace some of the antiquated pieces of equipment, playground equipment over at Shaker Park. So they asked me to come and kind of explain our application to them on, I believe it's Thursday. So I'm going to go do that. We also, a lot of meetings these last couple of weeks. The mayor kind of talked about some in Annapolis, so I won't go into that. We did meet with Ann and the bonding company for the Easter days today. Until we hear back from Ann, like Howard was saying, I'm not going to go into too much detail. It's kind of wide open right now, but we do at least have a plan, I think, to move forward at least as best as we can. We're making sure Greg's involved in it. So we should have an update in February. Again, hopefully if we have the closed session first, and we'll have some additional information. So we should know by that.
And also on that note, if you haven't heard, Eyes is in contact, with Pedro. Eyes is in contact with, Drew. They're ready to start out that end of town. Well, no, the road is done.
No.
They own their
That's
property.
Dunkin'
on the
Donuts.
corner.
Needs-
Dunkin' Donuts needs the road done before they can get started. But Eyes is, in contact with Drew, and they're just about ready to start. So that's good news. Now we can just get the post office to move too.
Now Highsville does have some permitting issues that they have have expired, that they need to apply for. So they're not just ready to put a shovel in the ground yet, but they are at least talking to us about it. So that's all.
Where's Todd's gonna go when you come in here? It's on the right, isn't it?
It's on the left, right next to the post office. Same side of the post office.
And that's really a big thank you to the Utilities Commission for what their work has been reevaluating
For tax.
these tap fees and EDUs and such. So that's kudos to those guys.
Let me know talking. So yeah, that project's moving along. J6 is moving along very smoothly. We're continuing to meet with the developer and their engineer, as well as, we just had a meeting with SHA about, the concept plans have been approved for J6. Now we're just waiting on construction plans to be approved. And there's some issues with the specific type of traffic lights that be there that we're still waiting to get approved. So, but we are in contact with SHA just to make sure we're on top of things with that. And as far as funding is concerned, I think we're we're looking pretty good for the town. I'm still waiting on updated cost estimates for that project as well. I do think that the money we've been able to raise from the county and the state will be enough for us on part of the project.
You know, expanding the tax base, like getting the highs that center here will help with finding a
Oh, yes.
reservoir.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
Well, maybe under that heading, Tony and I met with Drew and the gentleman that owns the property beside of me, and is Steel Estates. So he has an approved site plan, been approved for some time for the 5-acre factory lot and the 5-acre wooded lot for all 10 acres, and the approved plan is for 48 single-story, 55 and over cottages. And I think all indications are that he plans on moving ahead with that approved plan at this time. That's the gist we got. So that's good also. That's 48 tap fees.
Water bill.
Yeah, did I tell you that?
That is good news. Things are starting to move. So,
And we know it would. I mean, honestly, with the procedure changes that we're having and the open communication with the county permit office, with our commissions, with the developers, I really do think things are going to move quickly, at least as far as we allow them to. So I think we're in a good position right now. But unless there's any questions about any of these projects, certainly. Lot going on.
Then you got anything?
Well, we attended a demo over in Winchester. Jared, myself, Kathy, Barb, and Janine with the glass crushing. It's very interesting. The whole process, I mean, it's something that we could, it really, obviously we need to look for funding, but I mean, it's something that would benefit the town tremendously because all we do is just throw this glass out. It was really cool because the product they have 2 screens on their machine. One allows for smaller granular, what they call more like sand, but it's not quite what I would call sand, but you can get a finer screen. And then the other one's a little bit more coarse. And when they're finished with the process of crushing all the glass, there are 2 bins there that's open for the residents, that the residents want to come over and take some of it and use it around their homes. They're certainly allowed to do that. They don't have any pickup. Theirs is all done by drop stations, which is, probably the route that we would want to pursue as well. But it's crazy that you can pick it up after it's gone through that crushing machine, and it's not jars. It's like, and the neatest thing that I found was they use it on their walking trails. So it's pervious, great for MS4. You don't have to buy any special product. And I'm sure it probably looks pretty cool at night. I mean, we didn't get to see it at night, with, the lights glitter on the glass. But they had an area there in front of their plant, their office area, where they had just used some of the glass, like mulching type thing, but you could use it for a lot of different purposes.
Can we use it to backfill our reservoir tank? You're gonna be all right. Oh, I got
Too soon.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that too. That looks like it's being used there. And it glitters up there on South Pelham Street.
Where Maryland Theater is,
That's
I specifically asked that question. He said that's a different process.
Okay.
But it is basically that like.
Is it like playground sand or like sand at the beach, or I mean, what?
It's a little more coarse than that.
Yeah, it's more coarse. Yeah.
It's almost like when you almost powdered stone.
Yeah.
Like it's all stone.
The screen didn't go down to the finer sand. I mean, you can get a different screen, but at any rate, it's an operation that would be beneficial, but we need to figure out a plan on how to get it.
You think there'd be grants or something out there for that?
I would think.
Well, I asked them to look into grants. I have already started to look into a little bit, but also, I mean, we're gonna, know.
We gotta find a place to house it,
We gotta talk, yeah, I gotta talk with Greg, we gotta find a place to.
Greg gotta have to run it.
For that, that was my man's.
The glass
Certainly
with
need
the
to have an end area
blue
for
press.
where we-
All the roads down south are made of that.
Shiny bricks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
But it was funny to see the amount of wine bottles and liquor bottles used going up the conveyor.
Yeah, Oscar's just hooped it, so the town actually purchased a machine.
Yeah,
and
no,
right.
the town of Winchester's, what did they say?
They're a big city.
38, 40,000.
No, that one was like 60 some thousand.
Okay, because we talked about different
The
populations.
smaller one, I think, was 30.
Maybe it's something we could get with other municipalities and.
Well, and
county.
the conversation revolves with maybe Keysville wants to join in. I don't know, but anyway, it's pretty cool. We got to see it. And it was a road trip worth taking.
Sounds to me like that's a job for the chief to suggest at home. That's a good addition to the business.
Yeah, shred and
Look at his face.
Just remember, Eric, he has authority to arrest you.
Just think of the revenue.
Crush and shred.
Yeah, he did.
I know, he's the first one I've ever.
Yeah, he's the first one I think ever won that. Somebody else that you.
Tom just won.
Tom
Tom
won.
won, yeah.
I'm still holding out. I got a couple of days.
Yeah, you get a phone call if you hit it, if it comes up.
I got a couple of days. I robbed it.
That's nice you give us those.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
He
is.
gave a good call.
Yes, thank you very much.
Drew, where are we standing with?
Oh.
Oh, you're thinking.
Let's keep that.
Did they call you anybody from my commission about the street sweeper? They were
Yeah,
telling me they were gonna.
That's another job that Kevin's gonna pick up.
Yeah, I'll tell you,
Shred, crush, sweep.
Can you get me the
And drive the school
miles
bus,
they have in town?
Yes.
Okay, get that to me this week.
There's like 27 miles of water line, so
27 miles.
of water line. And they follow the street, so it's gonna be around that, but I'll get it for you.
Get it for me.
I actually talked to Chad about that, because he brought it up.
To Chandler. Yeah, Williamsport has one.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Foresters, right?
Yeah, they're gonna get there. Well, I still have to. Yeah,
So we're looking at going in with Williams
Yes.
once a month.
they have one. They purchased one.
Okay.
And they do it for another town too. They do it for town.
Sharpsburg.
And who runs it?
Well, they're trying to. We just paid.
That's why we're trying to figure out mileage and what the gas.
Okay.
Because they're not charging us anything, but we'll give them obviously money.
Right.
They told us they do it for donation. They got man hours, they got gas usage, they got wear and tear.
That's nice though.
Those are pretty nice trucks on both sides.
You love Great, okay.
That's a good price. Let them do it. Yeah.
But now give me those knowledge. Just send me a text or an email or something, Greg, when you get it. So I can try to get it to me before the end of the week. Please.
I noticed something today too. I was waiting for granddaughter out at the bus stop. There's 2 buses now going down Center Street again. It was okay at the beginning of the year. Now it's one. It was one. I thought.
Yeah, but they're coming out on,
Mapleville?
no, they're coming out down here at, Orchard Manor. They're not going up Lincoln Avenue and down by St. Paul Street. They haven't done that since they blocked the fire hall and they have Paul. And they're
I'm just saying, there wasn't anybody who
Wait a
went
minute.
first.
But, yeah, there are 2 of them. I saw those 2, but then they make a right there and come out there at Orchard Drive and come out on Main Street. And I think they do that because they know the school buses coming down Main Street will stop and let them come out. Everybody else will stop and let them out. But the other school buses coming through town, I noticed will stop and let them out.
Is that the
One
elementary,
driver jumps out, pushes the walk light, jumps back.
is that the elementary school or the high school?
elementary.
elementary.
Yeah, because when I was sitting over for the high school kids, I haven't seen any bus come down, it's just elementary.
Just elementary.
So the rest of them are exiting from campus.
Yeah, they're getting out quick. It's not like a huge amount of traffic, even though there is a lot of elementary, parents up there. It just, I saw the one, I thought, well,
But you know what, I was coming down South Potomac Street here a couple of months ago, and you think we have it bad when people line up. I cannot believe the city of Hagerstown Police Department lets people take up half of South Potomac Street, waiting in line, clear back past the cemetery, pick up their kids at Vesper Elementary School. I cannot believe the city of Hagerstown Police Department lets them do that, but they let them do it.
So they're on.
It's not just-
Coming through late.
Yep.
Wow.
So you think we got a problem with,
There you go.
And I've talked to several other towns too, and it's all well. Kids will not, parents will not let them ride the bus anymore. They're afraid you're gonna catch COVID.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It is, it is.
Oh, my commission also want to know where compost bins are located, however many we have, you know where they are.
So, from the community center, you guys approved the moving.
Oh, you mean-
No, for sale
They're in the stairway out here.
in the stairway.
Yeah, you know where the door is as you go out? If you go straight underneath that stairwell.
And I'm not sure how many are left in there.
Under stairwell. Okay.
There's what, 4 or 5 or 6 of them?
Yeah, there's not many left.
Not many left, yeah. Just a reminder, don't forget town hall will be closed on President's Day, February 19th. Weather permitting, we don't have any snowstorms. The yard debris will be open on February 17th and March 16th. But if it's snowing and they're outbound snow, the yard debris will not be open, right?
Yeah, we opened it up last snowstorm, nobody came, of course.
That's like in public safety committee.
Anything else? Hearing none.
Wait one more minute, so it's exactly 8 o'clock.
Oh, my.
Well,
Well,
half an hour.
working.
Very good job, sir. Thank you very much.
Appreciate that.
Can we just-
I'll send my bill to the town.
I'll fix the town clock.
Should
There you
we,
go.
we'll give you a donation.
Thanks, appreciate that. Looking out.
What do we got?
7:59.
Well,
Kim, can you start an event on Facebook for the community garden ribbon cutting, or did you already do
I
that?
already did it.
Okay.
I have a motion to adjourn. It is now officially 8 o'clock.
so moved.
So moved.
Second. Motion second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, same, abstained, motion carries. Thank you all. Have a good evening. And definitely mark the calendars for the possibility we may have a 6:15 executive session. But we'll let you know.